What hidden tactics do authoritarian leaders use to dominate? How do they manipulate fear and loyalty to remain unchallenged? Join us as we unravel the shadowy playbook of power, diving deep into the minds of those who rule with an iron fist. Buckle up. Truth awaits. Today, we will dive deeply into a semi-serious guide pertaining to the mindsets and tactics utilized by authoritarian leaders. Consider this exploration as an ironic playbook meant for dictatorship, an amalgamation of both amusing and infuriating insights into authoritarian rule. So, buckle up and prepare yourselves as we explore the various ways in which individuals might attempt to mold themselves into figures of dictatorship and maintain control over the masses. Introduction to authoritarianism. Authoritarianism can be defined as a political system heavily characterized by strong central power, which inherently limits political freedoms. In such a regime, individual freedoms are systematically subordinated to the demands and needs of the ruling authority. This is fundamentally in stark contrast to democratic governance, which emphasizes the sanctity of personal liberties, the crucial role of free elections, and the accountability of leaders to their constituents. History is marked by notorious authoritarian leaders, each with distinct ruling styles like the infamous Louis XIV of France and the enigmatic Fidel Castro of Cuba. Today, we'll explore a witty guide that examines how these leaders succeed, highlighting the key principles of their rule with a humorous twist that encourages deeper thought. Rule 1. Keep the winning coalition small. A compact winning coalition helps dictators maintain power by ensuring loyalty and reducing dissent among their supporters. Think about it. A tiny team means fewer people to please. Manage rewards and keep bribes simple. It's like herding cats, but way easier. Picture Louis XIV, the Sun King, dazzling his royal court, weaving loyalty as tightly as silk, all to ensure his reign shone bright over France's vast splendor. Fewer people to bribe means simpler power plays. It's like a dictator's ultimate fantasy come true, where chaos turns into control. In the thrilling game of dictatorship, the key is to cozy up to the insiders, while the rest, well, they're just background noise ready to be tuned out when needed. Rule 2. Control revenue flow. Effective leaders master revenue control, maintaining power while minimizing public scrutiny and accountability, ensuring their reign remains uninterrupted.
This video is sponsored by Collective AI Labs. Meet Helix, your ultimate Telegram sidekick. Connect, learn, and explore like never before, using text, voice, images, and videos, all in one lively chat. Ready to master a new language? Just type or send a voice note. Hey Helix, how do I greet my friends in German?
Wenn du deine Freunde am Morgen begrüßen möchtest, sagst du Guten Morgen und am Abend sagst du Guten Abend.
Looking for a chat buddy? Meet Helix. Whether it's a quirky virtual friend or a caring girlfriend, Helix is here for you.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's completely okay to have tough days. Want to talk about what happened?
Ready to dive into movie magic? Just upload a trailer or spill your favorites to Helix, and voila.
If you loved John Wick, you might enjoy Atomic Blonde. It features Charlize Theron as a skilled MI6 agent, packed with stunning fight choreography and a stylish vibe.
Visit Telegram and search Collective AI Labs, or simply visit collectiveilabs.com.
A savvy leader can charm loyal followers with resource perks while skillfully keeping challengers at a safe distance, ensuring power stays firmly in their hands. Saddam Hussein is a star example of how mastering resources like oil riches can supercharge a regime and wield immense political clout. It's all about playing the game. Personal projects are like planting money trees, but to enjoy the fruits of a lavish lifestyle, you need solid financial roots to keep them flourishing. Wealth equals power, and when a dictator holds the purse strings, they tighten their iron grip on the nation, ensuring their reign remains unchallenged and fiercely unwavering. Rule 3. Keep a big selectorate. A compact winning coalition is key, but nurturing a larger selectorate is crucial for long-term stability and building enduring support in an authoritarian regime. Bigger selectorates give dictators a smorgasbord of allies. This means more connections and a wider net of support, making it easier for them to navigate turbulent waters when needed. Fidel Castro cleverly built his power by winning the hearts of diverse groups, ensuring everyone felt the sweet taste of his revolutionary policies. A masterclass in turning promises into support. This approach guarantees a steady stream of fresh supporters, boosting your political capital while keeping your current allies happy. It's like adding new friends at a party without overshadowing the old ones. In the eyes of a cunning leader, being adaptable builds loyalty and lays the groundwork for an unshakable reign, ensuring they stay in power for ages. Talk about playing the long game. Rule 4. Pay your key supporters. Rewarding your key supporters is essential for survival in authoritarian politics. It's not just advice, but a vital necessity. Filling the pockets of loyal followers is an effective strategy to ensure they remain steadfastly committed when significant challenges inevitably arise within the political landscape. Abundant resources can prompt leaders to act like dictators, highlighting the critical need for ongoing support from key allies who reinforce the regime's lasting power. Ultimately, it turns out that wealth should not merely be hoarded. Instead, it must be utilized strategically to establish and nurture enduring connections that support a tyrant's rule. Rule 5. Crafting a false sense of democracy through tightly controlled elections legitimizes authoritarian regimes while maintaining a tight grip on power. Rigged elections can create a deceptive illusion of choice while ensuring that the final outcome unambiguously benefits the incumbent leader looking to remain in power. Robert Mugabe exemplified this tactic, using carefully orchestrated electoral strategies to disguise his oppressive regime and create an illusion of democratic legitimacy throughout his rule. Dictators know that presenting themselves as elected leaders can suppress dissent and create an illusion of popular support from their constituents. Thus, the stage is distinctly set for a comprehensive political charade that can effectively endure for years, allowing tyrants to maintain control over their populace. Rule 6. Crush rebellions swiftly. The swift suppression of any potential rebellion represents yet another cornerstone of maintaining authoritarian control over the populace through fear and intimidation. Quickly quashing dissent sends a palpable and unmistakable message that rebellion will be met with severe consequences, and the cost of resistance is far too high for most individuals to entertain. Many historical events vividly reflect the lengths to which regimes will go in order to maintain a semblance of order and effectively quell unrest that threatens their territories. By deploying force without hesitation, dictators can suppress not only actual threats, but also deter the possibility of any future dissent from arising within their domains. Essentially, the motto here could easily be summarized as "No coup for you," a clear and unambiguous directive against any form of uprising that might pose a risk to their rule. Authoritarian leaders often exploit crises to consolidate their power, enacting controversial measures under the pretense of necessity and urgency. During crises, leaders often seize chaos to strengthen their control over resources and suppress opposition, making rebellion seem perilously costly. Political optics during events such as Hurricane Katrina illuminated how leaders can reshape their narratives to project strength and decisiveness, even amidst suffering and despair experienced by the public. The adage, "Never waste a good crisis," offers insightful clarity into the inherently opportunistic nature of governance during times of turmoil and crisis situations. Here, political survival can transform tragedy into a leveraged opportunity that boosts authoritarian appeal, thus reinforcing the regime's power during challenging times. Now, let's take a look at some historical examples that illustrate our points clearly. Muammar Gaddafi rose to power through a military coup at just 27, seizing the opportunity to impose his unique style of governance ruthlessly and effectively. He bypassed traditional institutions and created a network of loyalists to secure his rule. The Jamahiriya system, a mix of socialism and tribalism, aimed to maintain his control, while his Green Book reinforced his ideologies and further solidified his power. And who can forget his eccentric fashion sense? It wasn't just a style, every inch of his attire screamed authority and defiance. Idi Amin's rule in Uganda was defined by terror, blending charm with brutality as he rose from obscurity to power. He rigorously purged political adversaries, creating an atmosphere of fear to maintain his control. His alliances with notable figures in the region were a testimony to his political acumen. Amin was a paradox, his policies unpredictable and often darkly humorous. Expelling Asians disrupted the economy, causing severe turmoil and reshaping the nation's landscape dramatically. Propaganda is an art form mastered by authoritarian regimes, skillfully twisting public perception to turn lies into accepted truths. Hitler's propaganda exemplified how consistent messaging creates a strong narrative. This manipulation, from historical pamphlets to modern digital campaigns, highlights the tactic's adaptability. These regimes understand that controlling the narrative isn't just about spreading information, it's about ensuring there is no counter-narrative whatsoever. In authoritarian regimes, taxes serve as tools of control, rewarding loyalty instead of enriching the nation, thus ensuring the regime's survival and influence. Bell, California, demonstrated this on a micro scale, manipulating tax structures to keep the elite and supporters wealthy. Taxes symbolize power and influence, allowing rulers to maintain control over their citizens, even amid widespread suffering. In authoritarian regimes, public goods often disguise ulterior motives, acting as tools to secure loyalty and suppress dissent, rather than truly benefiting the populace. Saudi Arabia has mastered this art by translating oil wealth into public goods that ensure citizens' dependence. Desperate populations are easier to control when their needs are tightly managed, creating a false sense of goodwill while the regime reinforces its power and control over the people. Modern tactics merge classic strategies with digital finesse to exert control, making today's methods more intricate than past straightforward suppression. Digital surveillance and propaganda have taken center stage, ensuring control extends into the virtual realm seamlessly. Governments evolve with technology, using core principles to strengthen control. What patterns do you see in today's politics? Share your thoughts on modern authoritarian tactics in the comments below. Foreign aid can be a double-edged sword used by regimes for political gain rather than genuine development, as seen in Brazil, where aid is manipulated to strengthen power instead of reducing poverty. During the Cold War, securing alliances was prioritized over uplifting nations. Foreign aid aimed to reinforce political stability rather than promote social and economic progress. As always in politics, there are no perfect saints, merely strategic choices and calculated decisions. A loyal military is a dictator's lifeline. Generals must be generously rewarded, as their unwavering loyalty is crucial for regime survival. Than Shui's Burma stands testament to this principle of maintaining military loyalty. By maintaining a tight grip on the military, regimes can quell uprisings before they gain momentum and pose a threat. A subsequent consequence? Rulers often pay heavily, not just in cash, but in unwavering submission to ensure their political immortality amidst challenges. Managing public perception requires instilling fear and respect, not just popularity. Mussolini's crafted image created an illusion of invincibility, influencing both the public and his adversaries. Media control and staged events project an aura of authority. By transforming failures into victories, the regime maintains its grip while appearing infallible to the public. Economic crises and survival. Economic crises can test the mettle of any regime severely. Intelligent manipulation transforms tactics for authoritarian regimes. After land reforms, Zimbabwe's economy declined, yet rulers used tactics like currency printing to maintain control and resources. The populace suffers, yet the regime endures, skillfully manipulating the economy to maintain power. Balancing crises reveals its true strength in political survival and adaptability during tough times. Judicial manipulation is vital for dictators to solidify and maintain power while evading scrutiny from both international observers and local opposition. Leaders often manipulate legal systems to maintain their control, creating an illusion of legitimacy while undermining justice for those they view as threats. General Batista in Cuba manipulated the judiciary to eliminate rivals while preserving the legal facade, ensuring key supporters received preferential treatment. Authoritarian leaders manipulate the judicial system to create the illusion of lawfulness, while actually using courts as tools to suppress opposition and ensure loyalty instead of justice. Leaders eager to maintain power often manipulate the legal system, using loyal courts to suppress political opposition and create a predictable environment that secures their rule. Internal surveillance in authoritarian regimes is crucial for psychological control and maintaining power over dissenters. Notable oppressive regimes include the KGB in the Soviet Union and the Stasi in East Germany, both of which established extensive surveillance networks to continuously monitor their populations. Intensive surveillance not only discourages dissent through fear, but also allows leaders to swiftly identify and crush any rebellious thoughts before they escalate within the population. People living under constant surveillance often alter their speech and actions to avoid attracting attention, prioritizing loyalty over rebellion in response to the state's watchful eye. Constant surveillance creates a climate of isolation and distrust, leading to compliance that undermines true freedom and personal privacy. Next, we explore how dictators manage guerrilla warfare and insurgencies, a vital strategy for maintaining power in politically unstable environments with dissatisfied populations. Governments often resort to harsh measures against potential uprisings, sending a clear message that dissent is unacceptable, which fosters a climate of fear among those contemplating rebellion. Historical examples show how Latin American dictators used military force and propaganda to suppress uprisings, effectively protecting their power from any rebellious threats. This approach rewards reporting on dissenters, breeding suspicion among community members and undermining solidarity, prioritizing state loyalty over collective resistance. A dictator's success in suppressing uprisings depends on instilling fear and turning community members into informants, prioritizing state loyalty and undermining solidarity among the people. In today's digital world, we must recognize how technology empowers authoritarian leaders to silence opposition and sustain their grip on power. Autocratic regimes now effectively use digital tools for censorship and surveillance, preventing dissenters from organizing, communicating, or mobilizing against the government. Regimes have always manipulated communication technologies, like telephones, radio, and print, to shape narratives and control public opinion effectively. Authoritarian leaders wield significant power over online platforms, enabling disinformation spread while silencing dissent through social media bans and targeted harassment against opposition figures. The connection between technology and authoritarianism reveals these regimes' growing sophistication as they battle for control over information, creating significant challenges for those seeking freedom and transparency. Under authoritarian rule, the education system acts as a tool for indoctrination, instilling state-aligned beliefs and values in citizens from a young age. Many regimes meticulously control school curricula to reinforce their narratives, systematically excluding dissenting views and controversial topics from public discussion. By embedding propaganda in education, despots cultivate loyalty and pride in their ideologies within future generations. Authoritarian regimes often glorify their leaders in textbooks while demonizing dissenters, skewing public perception and presenting their rule as the only path to national strength and stability. This education manipulation ensures people accept state authority unchallenged, enabling the government to control public perception and maintain compliance, which ultimately decreases the chances of rebellion. Let's examine contemporary examples of authoritarian tactics, highlighting how modern regimes adapt these timeless strategies to suppress dissent effectively. Recent reports show that many countries are heavily using social media surveillance to monitor citizens, ensuring that no organized opposition arises against the ruling party. Oppressive regimes utilize digital propaganda to spread fake news, undermine opposition, and strengthen government control, manipulating online discussions to maintain authority and discourage rebellion. State-sponsored trolls disrupt grassroots movements on social media, illustrating how authoritarian regimes have adapted their tactics to combat dissent through effective digital strategies. Tyranny may change its face, but its tactics persist. It's vital to maintain resistance tools to protect our freedom from the reach of modern autocrats. Now, let's examine how foreign aid can be used to strengthen power and suppress dissent within nations. Leaders often exploit foreign aid to strengthen their power, creating dependencies on donor nations while evading accountability for their domestic actions. Authoritarian regimes often feign adherence to human rights for foreign aid, while they suppress opposition and strengthen their control over key inner circles. Leaders often change their behavior based on financial resources. Abundant international aid can empower authoritarian regimes to maintain their oppressive measures against the populations they control. Understanding foreign aid dynamics is vital, as it can inadvertently support authoritarianism instead of genuinely promoting democracy and human rights as advocates intend. We must understand the crucial link between military control in authoritarian regimes, where leaders rely on the armed forces' loyalty to prevent coups and maintain power. Leaders recognize the need for military loyalty, using financial incentives, promotions, and personal rewards to foster consistent support and prevent any potential defections among key personnel. Despots tightly manage military operations, creating forces that both protect the regime and enforce loyalty, forming a strong barrier against dissent or challenges to their authority. Exploring the link between military power and authoritarian rule shows how far leaders will go to maintain control, ensuring their authority remains unchallenged by any internal or external threats. Now we examine how authoritarian regimes expertly manage public perception through propaganda and strict media control, shaping citizens' views to influence their collective mindset. In these systems, media acts as an arm of the government, promoting positive narratives while suppressing dissent that could threaten the regime's stability. Personality cults around authoritarian leaders distract from government failures and create a strong sense of unity and nationalism among citizens under their influence. By fostering a belief in a unique nation led by a heroic leader, regimes suppress dissent and encourage conformity, strengthening their control over the populace. Effective public perception management is vital for authoritarian regimes, enabling leaders to control narratives and influence the collective mindset of citizens, thus consolidating their power and authority. In summary, we've explored the strategies authoritarian leaders use, like manipulating coalition size and public perception, which is vital for recognizing and resisting tyranny in our societies. If you found value in this exploration, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more people who want to unravel the complexities of power and governance. Share your thoughts in the comments. What authoritarian tactics have you seen? Let's engage in a dialogue to better understand political control together.